Is your relationship worth saving? You might be a candidate for Date Night with Coach. Welcome to Date Night with Coach. I'm Dwayne Green, and I want to thank you guys for showing up with us tonight. It's a little different look than usual. My beautiful wife not here with us tonight, so what we decided to do is to add a little twist to Date Night. Tonight is Date Night with Coach, Guys Night Out.
Yeah.
So tonight I have a couple awesome husbands and fathers with me tonight. My guy Eric Harvey, y'all might know him as Harv the Great, the funny man. My big bro Omar Parker, all things finance and football.
Okay.
And then you got the man over there, my guy Curt, Ultra Curt, we call him Curt Anderson. Super marketer, Superman.
Yeah, we get it done. We get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so I just want to thank you guys for showing up with us tonight. We're going to get right into it, man.
All right. Glad to be here.
So, you know, as you guys know, if you've seen or kind of heard, what we do with Date Night is we provide therapy, couples therapy. We do a monthly couples group. We just came off of a couples retreat, and this Date Night with Coach podcast was the byproduct of kind of those efforts to kind of give viewers an opportunity to hear from some couples about relationships, hear some advice, hear some of the ups and downs that they may go through, to see that, to kind of normalize some of the things that we go through in relationships. The goal tonight is to really do some of those same things, but strictly from the vantage point of some solid men, some solid husbands, and to glean some wisdom from the guys that are sitting here with us tonight. So just gonna start off by giving you guys an opportunity to kind of share, with each other who you are, and tell us a little bit about yourself, but more so about, who you are and about your queen and how you were able to capture that beautiful queen that you had.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I mean,
go. You the OG. You the OG.
I go first.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, Omar Parker. I've been married for 7 years. This second go around. I was in a relationship previous. It didn't work. But I'm going to tell you guys, man, the second go around, they say the first time you marry for love, the second time you marry for somebody who's just that for you. And I can honestly say the wife that I have now, man, is just awesome. Meeting her on the field that I love to be on, which is the football field. Met her on the football field. Wow. Did she love the game? No, probably not. But she was out there and she was helping and she was supporting. I was a part of Keon Carpenter's Shutdown Academy. Wayne, you were there with me, but she was just an advocate for the kids and always willing to help. And me, I love the kids. And I saw how she was just a willingness to just be a part of. And we've been going strong. We have our ups and downs, just like everybody else. Yeah. But one thing I know, I can count on her, and that's big for me. Because as men, we know we can do any and everything as long as we know we got that rock. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I can honestly say that she's that for me. And I can go on and on and on. She told me not to babble. I'm a pass it on.
Well, my story is a little bit different because mine lied to me. She pretended like she liked sports.
Okay.
Things evolved. I mean, I think the majority of the situation, like the closest to me, is like having a female that's fair weather. It's like, in the beginning relationship, everything was hunky-dory, and then when the storms came, that's when I got to know the other side. The sides that you don't really put your attentions on when you're dating. You don't even think that you're even going to go through these type of situations with this person, but you see them shine through them, and then when y'all get through them, it brings y'all to a closeness within the marriage. So we've going on 16 years now.
Wow.
Married. It's a beautiful ride. You know what I mean? Beautiful ride.
What's up? Yeah, man. Well, mine was wild story. We were boyfriend and girlfriend in 7th grade.
Wow.
And then we went to different high schools, different colleges, led different lives, re-met at 30, 31 maybe. And she was trying to introduce me. I thought she was trying to introduce me to a business that she was doing, right? And I came ready for a business, almost interview style. Like, okay, she was trying to give me a business opportunity. I came with a suit. She came in t-shirt and jeans. We talked for an hour. We never talked business. And I'm sitting there, we just catching up and having fun, laughing and joking. And I came ready to get money. Like, let's get whatever you talking about. Let's get. She was successful with the business, and she wanted. You know, she heard I just moved back to Baltimore. I used to live in Norfolk, and she was trying to put me on, but that's what I thought.
She trying to get on.
Yeah. She thought this was a date.
Oh.
So at the end, we met. It's funny. We sat down at. It wasn't anything big. It was at Panera Bread on Route 40.
Okay.
All right, and this where you go to just chop it up business, right? So at the end, we never really hit on the business too heavy. And she said, "So when we going on another date?" I said, "This was a date?" I was like, "Oh, hold up." But I thought she was married. She had been married previously, so I didn't know she was divorced.
Oh wow.
So I wasn't even coming with that energy because I thought you're married. You know what I mean? So I didn't even know. And apparently she had caught up through my social media. And was like, "Oh yeah, I like what you got going on," and we now been married for 9.5, almost 10.
Awesome.
Almost 10, and that's, as y'all both put, that's my rock for sure. 100% and without a doubt. And I never wanted to be married. I met her, changed like that.
Wow.
And I lived a single life to a T. Party promoter, nightclub owner, single. Moved back home, game changed.
Right.
I knew I was never gonna get married. I was like, I'm not gonna get married for her. I didn't even see any value in it until I saw her. So that was it.
That speaks
Yeah,
volumes.
That's right.
That's what's up. So y'all looking at me like y'all want to hear from me.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, y'all know my story, man. I met my beautiful, crazy lady at a 1-year-old birthday party. You know what I mean? She worked with my sister, and came to the party. I thought she was in a room with my little cousin, and I was like, "Okay, you got a nice one over there, right?" And conversation was kind of like you. It was about sports. I came late because I came from a football game. I was coaching my son, and talking to one of my other little cousins, like, "Man, why you ain't bring your little man out to play? He used to play with us." And he started saying, well, reasons why he wasn't able to bring him. She jumped in like, as a parent, you got to sacrifice. And I was like, she sounded like me, and I was intrigued. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny how our kids, oldest boy and her oldest girl, were in the dance contest, and they actually like tied for the win of the dance contest at the party. And so, afterwards, me, my brother, one of my little cousins, like, sure, they ain't bad,
That's how I
Yo
started.
Gotti, man. It went down in the DM. I requested it on social media or whatever, and then I think I saw her post something like about football. I want to be a football mom, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, she coming for me.
Yeah.
So I went at it. You know what I mean? And I was where I was at. I was dating somebody. They was actually at the party, but we were kind of not. It was estranged, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, where I was at. Been married, been divorced, wasn't really thinking about it. It's like, I kind of got to a place where I knew myself, and I knew what I would accept as a spouse, and I was like, I don't really see it, so I'm just gonna be where I'm at. But when we kind of started kicking it, no expectations, hanging out every day, I just wanted to talk to her. You know what I'm saying? And I found myself being in that place. Up until now, we talk all day, every day, even to the day. Business, work, everything we do, everything together. It's her. So that's my girl, man. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Perfect, man.
She crazy though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they all are. I don't think it's no.
I gotta question myself, because if they all crazy, is it me that's making them one crazy?
Probably.
It might be a little.
It's a little bit of both.
So I had a conversation with Dante the other day. I was like, yo, listen, man, you got to get to a place of maturity where you understand what your crazy is.
Right.
What crazy works for you.
Yeah.
All of them are crazy.
They are. What's your crazy? How about that?
What's your crazy?
What's your crazy?
You know what I mean? And I found mine, man.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I found mine.
But when I tell you, it's like you know what that is, and then that's the wild side. But then you look at the upside.
Oh my God.
I take that all day.
All
Yeah,
day.
Give me this. You know what I'm saying?
All day.
And
All day.
I know I ain't perfect by far. So you dealing with me too, right? So
Right.
you might have to be a little crazy to work this out, right?
Right.
So yeah, it worked out. It worked
Yeah.
out.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. Yeah.
With our date night program, we kind of operate off of 3 core concepts. We work on couples, whether it's in, couples therapy, whether it's in our date night program. We focus on effective communication. We focus on conflict resolution. And then we focus on, and you're going to love this one, understanding and evolving with your why.
Ha! I love the why.
So we coach together. That was one of the
Yeah.
things. That's one of the things we always tell our guys.
Yeah.
If I tell you to do something,
Yeah.
you should be able to ask me why. Because when you understand why, then you own that job and you own that responsibility.
Absolutely.
You take pride in it.
We definitely weren't raised like that though.
We're gonna come to that last though. So I want to hear from you guys about communication. Let's talk about how does that look. What are some of the strengths, some of the hurdles throughout you guys' relationship as it relates to communication?
Yeah, well, for me, my communication improved when I got married because I never had to communicate to anybody.
Right. Answer to nobody.
I was always calling every shot, and if I didn't want to tell you something, I just didn't want to tell you.
Right.
But with her, I realized that she was getting upset, offended, feeling bad, not because I did something wrong, because I didn't talk about what I was doing. And I was doing the right things. I was doing this, doing that, but it was so great sometimes because I just keep to myself unless you ask me about it, right? Now, if you ask me about it, yeah, I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
but you ain't say nothing. But now, I learned, let me communicate through this whole thing, right? And that way, for me, it became, more fluid with our relationship, right? She communicates with me through everything. I don't even like to talk on the phone. I'm like, I rush everybody off the phone after the content that we need to talk about is done.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm out. You know me. You already know. I'm off the phone, right? I don't care who it is. Like, I try to keep my mom and my dad on, but it's rough, right? You know what I'm saying? But my wife, she want to call. She just want to sit sometimes listen to dead air. She want to talk sometimes. Sometimes she just want to be on the phone with me if I'm not in the house, right? And I got to understand, I'm out a lot. So I'm out working, I'm out, doing everything I got going on, and she likes to be at home.
Right.
She's more of a homebody. So I had to learn to communicate when I'm out and learn to put her first of mind, just top of mind, to really keep everything tight. So now it's like, oh, she knows about Wayne, right? She ain't even met Wayne, but she knows where I'm at and what type of person this is, because I'm communicating. We talking about principles. You know what I'm saying? We're not sitting there just shooting it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep. And now she's like told me earlier today, you better hurry up and get down there, beat the traffic. I'm like, before it was like, do you have to go? Right? But as you communicate, it opens up a lot. It opens up a lot more for me at least. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Man.
That's serious, man.
What he said.
That's serious.
I mean, I can feel everything that Curt is saying. But my first marriage, I was almost acting as single.
Okay.
I didn't want to communicate. I was just like, well, this is what it is, and I'm doing it, and I don't care what you think.
Right.
And I learned through that, like, it's not, you're not going to get anywhere together. Maybe you may grow, or you may, do whatever you're doing, but you won't get there together. So when I married Shauna, I would, I'm over communicating now. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm the one calling.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing? Nothing. Yeah. So, how was your day? She like, it was good. What else you want? She like, okay, because she's not really.
Trying to get you off the phone.
She's trying to get me off the phone.
Right.
And I'm just like, yeah, baby, I just want to let you know what's going on, and but I feel like that relieves so much from me because as men, as we hold stuff in, we pile up everything on our back because what we're doing, we're just really internalizing everything, and internalizing is not good. You know what I mean? We need to have somebody who we can release it to, and why not listen to your best friend? You know what I mean? So I find myself talking more and communicating more than I would normally do. So, but it's one thing is like she's not like that. So she's learning because sometimes I don't like hearing stuff from somebody else that should have been told to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like I said, that's something that she's not really there yet, and that she's working on. But you know, it's something. That's one of the things that we have as a couple that we realize we struggle with. So we work on it together. But I sometimes over communicate. But the sentiments like you, Curt, man, I understand. It feels so much better when you can just have somebody that you can just woosah to, and you know, and get that in reverse, that, you know, in reverse. So.
And see, me, I'm an intellectual, so I communicate, but I got to a level where now I realize effective communication is me putting the ego to the back and now communicating to understand what's going on with my partner. But the problem that I got, what I'm talking about with over communicating is I'm so blunt now. But it be times where it's like I don't want to hear the defense mechanism about what I'm saying, or because we males we're supposed to speak about our feelings.
Right.
So if you do something that rubs me the wrong way, I'm trying to explain to you why I'm feeling this way. Not the fact that I'm just feeling this way, but this is the reason why it's triggering me. Not for you to give me a deflection of like, well, the next time you do it, it's like, no, I'm just telling you how I feel. You can take this in, tell me how you feel, and then we go home and reevaluate it, and then come back to the table. But it's an ongoing struggle. I'm gonna tell you like that.
Definitely, it's definitely, absolutely, man.
So for me, right, I'm in a challenging place as a clinician, as an educator, all of that, right? But Ebony and I have very similar communication styles, in that both of us have a communication style where we are really like detail oriented with it. You know, we want to really we want to make sure that you understand what we're trying to say, right? And so because of that, we find ourselves, a lot of times we'll get into an argument, but we saying the exact same thing. You know what I mean? So we learn that about each other. So oftentimes it's me who will kind of fall back and let her say what you gotta say. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes we get into that where it's like we talking and she's saying what she got to say. I'm trying to get her to understand. She's saying it in a different way than I'm saying it, but we're saying the exact same thing, and we got to take that long road to get to the point. When in actuality, if one of us would have just shut up and listened, you know what I mean? But I think for my wife, she's gotten so used to that dynamic, and honestly, she'll tell you she feeds off of that. You know, she feeds off of that interaction, right?
Right.
So she don't mind going through the fuss, going through that, and then getting to a place of peace. Right? Whereas me, I get frustrated with that. Right. And so what I do sometimes is now, when it gets to that point and I see it, I'll just stop.
See, and one of the things when we kind of all talk, all couples talk about, what made you want to marry me, right? Type of conversation. And one of the things that she said was how I handle when she's going crazy on me. Because I've never put my hands on a woman.
Right.
I'm never going to. But at the same time, I know how to bring her down, right? And she was like, when it gets wild, how does he act?
And so guess what, Curt? You just segued us, bro.
Yeah.
The next concept after communication is positive conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So when shit get heavy, when there's something going on that's taking you to a place, when one or both of you are triggered, when you got an issue on the table, how you deal with it?
I'm petty. I go out back, pull the circuit breakers. I do all that shit. She got asthma. She be in the house like, it be in the middle of the summer. She like, you're playing with me right now. I'm like, look, you better call your daddy or somebody, because I ain't having shit. I'm petty. Like, yeah, I do petty shit. I ain't gonna fight you. I just do petty shit. We all gonna sit in the dark for the night.
You stupid.
How we gonna
That's
do?
hilarious.
For me, my wife, she holds on to stuff. And so, like holds on to stuff. Like 2 weeks later, she bringing up the stuff. So you think you out the doghouse, and 2 weeks later,
She throwing you a bone.
yeah, she like, yeah, you still in the dog. So I try to always feed positive to it. You know what I mean? I try to go out, or I try to do things to kind of deflect from what's actually going on. And I try to communicate, but she's not one that's always ready to communicate. You know how, when, if she's like, I'm mad, and she just holds it in. So I try to bring it out of it, and most of the time it doesn't work.
Right.
But I try to always, you know, like you said, I'm not hitting on you. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I'm not cussing you out. I'm not doing none of that. So I'm going to always try to feed it with positive. And if she's not receiving it, I kind of like, you know, try to chill. But I'm always, like I said, I'm trying to communicate because I want to know what's going on. I want to help. Right. You know, as men, naturally, you're like, I want to help. Right. I want to help. And she's like, I don't need your help. And I'm like, no, we need to get past this. I want to help. And she's like, Omar, I told you I don't need your help. Let me have my time. Let me have my space. So I have to kind of like, that's me receiving it and that's me dealing with it because I want to help and I want us to move forward. But she want to be in her space of just dealing with it. Yeah.
So a lot of things you said the exact same way as I feel. And one of the things is she is the feisty rah one out of the two of us, right? And our relationship was two pretty much alpha personalities coming together. Oh, wow. But even in that, somebody's going to back down. And what I realized is that if I took mine up to the level where she's taking hers, it's going to be World War III, right? We would have been done. Right. It wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes. So she gets mad. She's letting go, going crazy. And I said to her one time, I said, all the times we've ever argued, how many have I started? I said, all the times have I ever argued? Have I ever called you out your name?
Right now, I don't do that.
Not one time. Because I made up in my mind I wasn't going to do it before we got married. Not because it wasn't in there. Right. It's in there. I got some choice words, and I'm ready to just light it up. But I told myself, if this was what marriage is about, that's not what I want.
Not at all. I get it.
And I gotta do what I want to do, or I'm not going to be good at this thing, right? And
I like that.
When she goes, I kind of just, I know it's like a storm. It's going to be over. But it's going to take cover though. It's coming down. Hell, you gotta take cover. Everything's coming.
I'll tell you one thing we gotta learn as men. And one thing that I put in my mind with it, and I started to realize, pure masculinity is letting her have it.
Oh yeah.
Because we logical and women are feelings based. So when that level's up there and all of a sudden it's not even about the point no more, it's just to go ahead. Sometimes you just gotta let her have it. But that's how you keep the peace in the household.
That's funny that you say that. So a couple things I heard, right? So at one of our date night monthly sessions, right? And Emily told me this, and I was able to share it with the group. It was hilarious that sometimes when we are having an argument, she'll realize it during the argument that I'm right or whatever. But she gotta stick to her guns.
Got to see it through, my boy.
She's like, no, I'm gonna ride this out. I realize that what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And so, she's talked about some of the things that she's done to kind of navigate that. But one of the things that I'll say is, and I posted this before, like my wife's love language is fussing and cussing. My baby is a spark plug, man. Yeah. And she gonna come with it. But I think for us, one of the things that one of the biggest growth moments for me was when I really took a look at our relationship from the stance of how she was raised, how I was raised. And so I looked at it from the perspective of how my family fight and how her family fight. You feel what I'm saying?
That's deep.
I've been in situations with her and her family where her mother, whatever, they beefing. Yeah. And then tomorrow morning, they on the phone. I'm like, who you talking to? My mother. Oh, okay. Right? You know what I'm saying? Whereas my family, we may be beefing, but nobody will know. We don't confront it.
Right.
But we internalize it. We get resentment. We start acting different. For me, conflict for me was the end. You feel what I'm saying?
Because that's what you was raised with, yeah.
So we be in the house and, we might have an issue. And she get to her fussing and cussing. I'm in the bed at night like, which one of us getting up out of here tomorrow morning? Yeah. Because in my mind, that conflict. Wow. But then she wake up like, babe, what you want for breakfast? I'm like, what the hell? Right. You know what I mean? And so it was literally one day she was at the stove or washing dishes, one or two. I walked in the kitchen, I was like, babe, I got it. And I figured it out and I was like, yo, this is what it is. And so for me, the confidence in knowing that just because she upset, just because we upset with each other, just because there's an issue, that don't mean it's the end of us. The confidence in knowing that our issues are never bigger than who we are to each other. You know what I mean? That allows us to deal with stuff. She's now feels like sometimes I take it too literally, where I be like, you mad? Okay, I know you ain't going nowhere. I know we good.
Right.
Have your moment. Let me go down the basement and watch something or whatever. But it's a certain level of security that you have when you know that she mad, she pissed, let her have that. And again, I'm a fixer too.
Right. Yeah.
Where even if it's something that don't have nothing to do with me, I'm trying to fix it. And I had to learn. I had like, yo, babe, that's just what I do. If you're uncomfortable, I want to fix it.
Right.
But I had to get to a place where I was like, yo, all right, she telling me something, she venting to me or whatever, and I'm like trying to fix it. I'm like, yo, can you tell me, is this one of them times where you want me to fix it, or you just want me to listen?
Hand those up.
Because I need to know.
So I've never had that level of conversation.
Because automatically, I'm going into fixing mode.
I'm going into fixing mode.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You tell me something wrong, I'm gonna give you a solution. We're gonna walk you through some steps. This is how we're gonna fix that thing.
Yeah.
But that may not be what she need right now, what she want. And I had to learn to kind of dial it back a little bit and really just act like, hey, babe, what do you need from me right now? You know what I mean? So that's your day for.
So for you, Wayne, I know that this is what you do. Like you're a conflict resolution. This is your lane, right? So in dealing with your wife, she knows that. And so like the other day, my wife said, don't try to be a psychologist to me. So I know that's like this is your lane. So how do you deal with that? And like,
it's
how
hard, man.
It's challenging.
So one of the first things you learn in training is basically you can't try to be a therapist for your family. Don't try to provide therapy to your family.
Right.
So, you can give advice to somebody when you're not emotionally attached.
Yeah. Right.
But there's an ongoing battle between your heart and your mind that when you try to connect it don't work out. So there's a couple things. Being a clinician, but also my wife knows that I'm an educator.
Yeah,
a teacher. She knows that. I was in training to be a deacon in the church, so I stand in front of people and talk, and I direct and I teach. So she'll say, "You coming at me with that teacher voice?
Yeah, that's what I was.
You coming at me with that preacher voice?
Right.
You coming at me, So it's like, being in a place where I gotta really check myself and try to say things in a way that she's gonna receive it. It don't work though.
That's what I was saying.
It's nothing. And what I say is with communication, the twofold process of communication. When you're sending it, you know what you want to convey. That's part of the deal. But what seals the deal is the mindset of the person receiving.
Right, you're right.
So you go to your wife. We were just talking about it all day. If you go to your wife and say, "Baby, you beautiful,"
And we're just talking about
but if she's feeling the way about herself, it means nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
If it don't line up. So, for me, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And oftentimes I defer to a lot of stuff because I'm like, I don't want to sound like I know. If there's a conversation that we're having and I'm like, I know exactly what's happening right now. But if I say it, it's going to change the complexion of this whole situation. So I got to hold a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's the reason why I said that, because that night we was over your house and we came in at 7 in the morning. 7 at night. We didn't leave till 7 in the morning.
Like
That's we were conversations right
there.
We were going upstairs to go to bed, and our daughter was coming out of the room to go shower and brush her teeth. Like, what are y'all doing?
Right.
Like,
So
y'all was rolling. Yeah.
So during those conversations, you were going to that mode, and I was like, damn, he know what he's talking about. And I'm like, yo, this is
7 at night to 7 in the morning.
Yes,
7.
Literally 12. Yo, we was and my wife took a nap. But
y'all got emotional
but,
or something.
No, but it was deep.
It had been an emotional moment in that
I'm gonna
conversation.
finish that, but I got to give y'all something else about that.
Yeah. So, but Wayne would go into his clinician mode sometimes during a conversation, and it would help me because I'm like, whoa, dang, that's what it is. But I was always wondering like, how's his wife receiving it though? Because that's her husband.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like you said, it's all about how they receive it because this is his lane.
Right.
So if she's like, he think he know everything. They already say, you know that he know everything.
You know that's
so
it don't matter how great the man is. You know his wife don't see him as the way the world
he's regular.
Right.
Okay, how great.
So he was just
I wash his clothes.
Right. Like that.
Yep.
So he was hitting those spots, and I'm like, yo, that's what it is. And I'm like, and I'm also saying like, how's his wife taking it though? Cause he's hitting it and it's right on point. So that's why I posed the question, like how that works.
It's tough, man. But I wanted to say when you mentioned that night, so that night was the first time that us and our wives had been together in 4 years.
4 years.
And prior to that, this guy and me hadn't spoken in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
He took shots at Norfolk State. He picked me up and took me to Delaware State for my visit for football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we coached together and all that. Things happened, we fell out, right? And over football stuff, man.
It's a
You know?
football stuff.
But here's the beauty of it, right? When we talk about our wives, man. My wife is mad because they love each other. Our wives absolutely love each other, right? But when you talk about people that are in conflict, right? We on conflict resolution right now. People who are in conflict, and you got somebody that's by your side. Both of our wives sacrifice their relationships because of their loyalty to their husbands.
Yeah.
But every so often, and I know you felt with it too, my wife would be like, yo, this is some BS, man, because that's my friend, I miss her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I called you.
And we talked, he hit me up, and, you know, we met up, and it's funny, Sean was away, he sent a picture of us hanging out, and
She was about time.
And that night, they were just up that way by our house, and they was like, "Hey, y'all home? Yeah, we home." They showed up, and one of the beautiful things I say, you know, this is a relationship thing, you know, spouses. One of the things that I say, some of the people that come to our couples monthly meetings say that the things that we deal with helps them in their marriage, in their relationships, but it helps them across the board.
Yeah.
So these concepts and things that we deal with transcend, and so the reality that, you know, as he and I were not talking, the people in our lives, they minded their business.
Yeah, there you go. Nobody better than that.
We didn't talk bad about each other to nobody.
Right.
We had our thing. We got a lot of mutual friends.
Because that's the line between when you respect somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
We had our
and
thing.
you don't. Because when I respect you, you know what? All right.
That's between us.
Yep.
That's between us.
I mean,
And it's old school, like back to the day when you could fist fight somebody,
We tight
but
them up.
I don't want. Yeah,
And can't nobody
it's
else.
over.
Yeah, can't nobody else. Like,
you
yeah,
stay
that's
out.
my guy. Yeah.
It happened with me. It happened with me. As a promoter, one of my guys couldn't get in, but this is one of my guys. He couldn't get in the club. I just started promoting back in Baltimore for the first time. He had on Louis sneakers, and he like, this is Louis. But the guy just had a problem, so he said hard bottoms only. His man, who I didn't know, started going off at the mouth about me. Like, man, what we do? And he looked back and he said, shut up. You don't know him. You don't want these problems, right? Because we grew up.
Right.
We've been in several confrontations with each other.
Together.
Yeah, together. He was like, yo. And I was like, hey, don't let the suit fool you. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the suit. But understand, it was me and my boy. We can go at it. But I'm gonna make sure his mother's straight. I'm gonna make sure his sister's straight, his kids, anything like that. I'm never going I don't care how mad I am at you. I still love your family. I still love you. I just can't stand you right now.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like so, respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what I think happened was it really kind of galvanized, you know, the love and respect, because like after that, like it was like we went to bed, me and my wife, we had a good night that night.
You still remember that?
We was fussing and cussing though.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
That night it was.
Bro,
It was
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yo, it was. Yeah, it was a bunch of this.
So it was
was
a rough night, man. It was a great night. It was a rough night. That's the last time I lost some pool in my house too.
Right. Well, I mean, you know.
And let me give you just a moment of transparency now that you're saying that. I've never fussed with my wife in front of anybody.
Me neither.
It's always been, we about to be, but not in front of anybody.
Right.
And I mean, we don't fuss like that crazy where it's gonna get that wild, but it's never been in front of. Now, remember one thing. My wife and I were also business partners too. Mm-hmm. So chances are the person who's watching, who's looking, is also in our business. So it has a double effect if we were to, they look unstable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They going, oh, I don't know if I should be in business with them. And we've seen other couples in our business go crazy on each other. And the first thing you're thinking is, it's like,
dude, we want to do business, right?
We want to follow you, right.
So we've always kept it. So I'm listening to this story. I'm like, not that I'm gonna start now, but I'm just like, that takes a level of openness to be able to say, I'm going to handle this now.
And I think the context of it is different. So, like I said, like these are friends.
Yeah, true.
And so in that context, it was like, they were in the neighborhood, like literally in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. We were.
And they're like, y'all home? Like, yeah, come on through. And then we were just there, we were drinking, having a good time, shooting pool, chopping it up. The ladies had their moments, we had our moments, talking trash, talking. And anytime couples around, we just talking. It gets deep.
Yeah.
And so during those moments of depth, there were times where we dealing with some real stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was some ups and some downs in the conversation, but I think what it showed, I think it really showed that those 4 years meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. Because we handled it with integrity. Mm-hmm. Even though we had our issues, there were people who we connected to that we might have talked to in the same day that respect us enough individually and collectively to deal with it in a certain way, right? And we never showed anybody, because you show people how they can treat your people, right?
Right.
So we never showed anybody that,
right?
And so I think our wives, and again, I know my wife, she held me accountable when it came to him, when it came to this situation. You know what I mean?
And so, just opening more is that because of where I live, because of who I'm around, it's just us.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Not that I want to disagree with or have out with my friend, but I don't have a married couple
that you can,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's necessary. One of my closest friends that I used to confide in have issues with his wife, and their situation is up in the air.
So it's hard to have those conversations.
Yeah, that ain't even.
Their opinions are swayed.
Right.
Yeah,
I ain't happy in my relationship. You ain't.
I've never seen my father married. He said he was married to my mother. I don't remember. He said, "Yeah, we divorced when you was 2." I was like, "Okay, right." I've never seen it. My mom remarried. Husband was great, but he just passed away. Right? I would talk to him. He don't say a lot, but if I ask a question, he say. So when it comes to marriage, until I started coming here, I didn't realize that maybe I'm having. There's some issues that I do need to uncover. We deal with everything how we deal with it, and with God's help, we've done very well. Very well, and I think that we also were very like-minded coming into it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too much to work out, but things happen as the relationship mature, right? So, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, you talking about having a couple that stayed over your house for 12 hours. I've never had a couple stay over my house. Not that I didn't want it, but just, for a long period of time, that wasn't a business partner.
The only person that it affected was Mrs. Parker, because she was asleep.
Yeah, she fell asleep.
She went to the bathroom.
But also,
she got a cover and laid in the chair.
When you talk about them fussing, right? Their communication, because his wife said fussing is her love language. So that seeing that, right, and then see them at the same, like 2 minutes later, talking about, what you want to eat? What you want to eat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me and my wife to see that, we like, they crazy, but them niggas love each other.
And I listen. I need you to record the next time you do it, so I can play it back to my wife.
I'm telling you,
when we go at it, it ain't no,
and me either. But we witnessed it.
But it's an act of, some act of, I'm acting as her husband even when we're upset with each other. I'm acting as our children's father even when it's just that she winds up loving and respecting and realizing this ain't that deep.
Right.
Because when my kids don't open up about something, because we got 2 boys in the house right now. We got 4 kids, but 2 of the boys are home, and they need to get some guy stuff off their chest.
Right.
And she sees me handle that. How mad you gonna stay? You know what I'm saying? It's like knowing that if I wasn't in the house, she'd be a single mom trying to raise these boys that would have no clue how to handle these situations like a man, right? So those things come in and make you say, you know what? I do need him here. I do love him. I do respect him. I do value him, right? And she don't have to say the words because I can see.
Right. You can see.
All of a sudden, the food starts. Smell something good.
You know what, and so another thing that I learned, and it's been articulated in our groups. So what we do oftentimes in our groups, as clinicians, you use your discretion and share your stuff as is. If it's for you, then you probably shouldn't do it.
Sure.
But if it's to edify the group, then obviously you want to do it. So we share stuff as we feel that is appropriate. But one of the things that I recognize is that she has to get it out. And when she gets it out, it's gone. So her love language of fussing and cussing, she need that.
Yeah.
Let her get it out, say what she got to say, and it's over.
It's over.
You know what I mean? And I had to learn that because I'm like, who you think you talking to?
Right.
But you
then
know
I
what's
realized,
crazy?
like-
That's the removements of ego though. If you get it out and now all of a sudden I don't have no emotional attachment, once I get it out, the ego is to the back. You know what I'm saying? Because only the ego is going to hold on to what's been said and then you harboring it in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's like the common denominator for this conversation. Because even like with y'all's situation to piggyback on, the ego make you say, I'm mad at you so my wife can't talk. But y'all didn't understand them 4 years went by because of them 4 years, because them wives was the bridge that them 4 years wouldn't have happened because y'all cut the bridge off due to y'all egos.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
The
wives still communicating and being around, it wouldn't have went 4 years because whatever miscommunication y'all would have had, y'all would have had to understand it through the wives.
Yeah, but they was like, whatever you doing, I'm doing. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it because I'm riding with you, and I respect it. You know what I mean?
They show that loyalty, but but it's their loyalty to your ego though.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean?
It really is.
Yeah,
it
because
really
my
is.
wife told me that's stupid.
She
Y'all
called me
stupid.
on it. She
It's
called me
stupid.
on it.
Okay. They
She
both
be
called
like,
y'all.
oh yeah. She be like, well, you telling me to get in touch with my friends. What about Wayne? I'm like, God dang. All right.
Yeah.
Call him up. Yo, let's meet.
That phone was heavy at first.
Yeah, it was over. But this like she said that year 1.
And it took 4 years.
For me to break.
Yeah, that's real.
For me, and the thing is, I coach at Poly. He's a counselor at Poly.
Oh, so y'all
we
there
coach
the same
together.
place. Wow.
But the crazy part, we never crossed paths. Right, Wayne? How crazy? Like they be like, Wayne just left here, and I'm like, oh, where, But I never seen him.
And so the thing
in
is,
those 4 years.
think about that.
In 4 years at the same school.
Same school.
So for
But you
somebody,
only go there for after.
I go to that school, but
but
still.
for somebody to say Wayne left here, they don't even know the dynamic that
They
we're
don't.
dealing with.
They
Right,
don't
so
even
they don't
know.
understand it's a problem.
They didn't even
Right.
know what we
They
were
don't.
dealing with.
That's
So
wild. It's
I
crazy.
think again, man, it's you come back from stuff when you deal with it appropriately, man.
Yeah, when it's respect, when there's always
conflict
respect
is
involved,
a
right?
normal part of life. Man.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think